Living in Florida is a new TV show where we take you on a journey to explore some of the most beautiful and intriguing homes in the Sunshine State. Come with us as we talk to the experts who envisioned and designed these homes, and we hope it will inspire you to dream, design, or even claim your own piece of paradise. Today we're going to take you to Casey Key, a barrier island, where we're going to show you one of the most beautiful homes, and it has truly some of the most incredible features. It really takes into account the nature around it. It has some incredible design and architectural features inside that I can't wait to show you. So come with us. I can't wait to give you a tour of this home. The Durban House, as it's named for its original owner, is a spectacular property on North Casey Key. This house is well known in the area by locals and evokes curiosity from visitors who drive by, as its exceptional modern design make it a standout on the small barrier island. This home was designed by renowned modern architect Guy Peterson, who introduced me to his colleague Damien Blumetti. Damien worked closely with Guy at his firm and was kind enough to join us. Damien is now the principal of his own award-winning firm based here in Sarasota. The first thing Damien called my attention to was the entry sequence of the home. The way you approach the home is notable and is designed to provide a sense of discovery, leading to stairs that appear to float in space, transporting you into the main living area. Each Guy Peterson home is specific to the client. This client allowed Guy to push boundaries with his design, which is evident in the details. Durban House is set back on the property to give some privacy from the road and to maximize the open view of the Gulf of Mexico. The pool is also in the front yard to take advantage of the open views on this side of the house. So the other thing that's really compelling about this space, obviously, as you mentioned, is the outdoors.
Yeah.
I mean, the view here is incredible. And the water is just very much part of this room.
There's certainly an incredible amount of exterior space on there, and that all ties into the interior and exterior feel of the house and creating that kind of continuity in the architecture. Exterior spaces on the Gulf side are different than the exterior space it has on the Bay side.
Right. It's those two personalities that we were talking about, which is just so interesting about the way this home is sited.
Right.
It's further back on the property to take advantage of the big open sky view, and there's a pool in the front yard instead of the back, and then the back is kind of this really intimate treed space that goes to the much more kind of peaceful bay.
Yeah, there's more dappled light in the backyard, and I think it would almost probably be prohibitive to put a pool back there just because of the leaf litter.
The leaf problem would not be small. So one of the things about this part of the house that is really interesting is it absolutely captures both the different perspectives. So can you talk a little bit more about how this was designed to capture that?
Certainly. Guy uses a lot of the elements of the architecture. They're not only represented on the exterior, but they also pull into the interior, not only through the transparency in the windows, which is obvious in this space, but through the materials as well. You have these wood volumes that are expressed on the outside, and they're not superficial. They also extend onto the interior as well, and that's evident in the office space right over here, where you have the wood volume stopping at 8 feet, clear story glass above.
Very interesting. So another thing that I think exemplifies bringing the outside in is some of the materials that are used. So the floor captured my attention. It has obviously shells and rocks and things that remind me of our outdoor environment here in Sarasota.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is called polished shell topping or shell topping. And what it is white Portland cement with seashells in it, and they polish it smooth. It's really unique to this area and to Guy's work.
And so these are actually shells and rocks from here.
Yeah.
They're from outside, and they put them into the concrete, pour it, and create these tiles.
Yeah, not like exactly outside.
Right. Well, not right outside the door, but in this area.
Right.
Yeah. Internationally renowned interior designer Robert Couturier from New York worked hand in hand with Guy Peterson and brought his unique touch to the entire home. His influence is probably most felt in the colorful office space. With its more curved spaces and wood detail, it's a contrast to the clean lines and more muted colors in the rest of the house. The home is designed to be full of surprises. Damien showed me some of the truly unique features that are found in the dining and kitchen areas. So Damien, one of the really cool things about this house is there's a lot of hidden elements, a lot of elements of surprise. Can you show us some of those?
I'd be happy to. First is this wall, which looks
like a wall.
Looks like a typical wall. Is storage for dining, dishes.
Okay. Yeah, you could put all your dishes in there and no one would ever know. Exactly. They're back behind a wall.
And then why don't you go stand over by the stair?
Okay. So I see an opaque glass wall. Ah, it's revealed. So you can have a more intimate dining space behind the glass, or you can open it up for the views and not have any obstructed views through that.
Yeah, I think the concept is that as guests arrive, they would be opaque, and then it becomes a surprise, an element of surprise in the space. And then while you're dining, you can make it clear, and you get the Gulf views, and then to the east you get the sunsets, and to the east you get the bay views.
Yeah.
And it becomes a completely different experience.
Yeah, very, very cool idea.
Once we go to the kitchen.
Okay.
You want to open up the middle pantry there?
Yeah.
Or middle
panel.
Yeah,
yep.
panel.
What could it be? Oh, look at that. You would never know. It's the refrigerator.
And the freezer is below.
Ah. Very nice.
And this is pretty consistent for the whole entire kitchen. The dishwasher is also a panel overlay, and then there's a small refrigerator next to it, which are drawers.
Refrigerator drawers. So everything, there's no hardware. Everything is flush. Is there something interesting about these cabinets or how they came to be? I don't think I've seen anything.
Yeah, it's opaque glass, kind of adhered to wooden cabinets, and there's just this really interesting finger reveal.
Yeah.
So it's just a piece of glass that's then essentially glued to the cabinet, the wood cabinet face.
And it kind of reminds me of that opaque glass wall.
Exactly.
It's informed by that.
There's certainly a connection between the two.
Yeah.
But architecturally, we're in, before when we were in the office, we were in that wood volume, and now we're below it. So the ceiling in this space is wood and kind of compressed a little bit too to make a more interesting space.
Yeah, and I love the way it kind of reminds me of being on a boat. You know, the kind of lower wood ceiling.
Sure.
It makes it a cozier, more intimate space, which is kind of unusual.
Yeah, and I think that's also kind of unique to Guy and his architecture, where he compresses space, and then not all the volumes are the same scale, or the same height anyways, and it creates, you know, definitely a certain experience, a different experience for each space that you enter.
There are 4 uniquely designed bedrooms, but the standout to me obviously was the master suite. So we came down this really kind of narrow little hallway, and then we come into this big master bedroom space, and it has incredible views, this big, huge terrace. Is there something about this space that's unique that you can talk about?
Yeah, well, obviously you've already mentioned the views.
Yeah.
You're getting the sunset right now.
Yeah.
But it's also the scale of the bedroom. It's probably one of the bigger rooms in the house.
Just an amazing view. I mean, it's like waking up every day to see this view. It would be amazing.
Yeah, and you have a lot of access to exterior terraces too.
Yeah, there's that's the biggest terrace I've ever seen off a master bedroom
And
by
the
far.
biggest terrace in the house.
And the biggest in the house.
Right.
Yeah, and you can access it from different points on this floor as well.
You can.
Really interesting. And there are a lot of the wood elements that are reflective throughout the home are in the cabinetry, the lead into the master bath.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think here is where the interior designer really took the idea of the wood and did a great job of incorporating that into some of the elements in the master bedroom and bathroom.
So there's a lot of cabinetry and closets, huge closets here, and now you're kind of heading back to the other perspective of the house. You're heading back to the trees and the bay. You have this really nice, peaceful looking bathtub.
Here's an example of where it's tongue and groove again. So it's constantly kind of changing depending on the space that you're going in.
I think you could almost think of this home as being a little like, is it like living in a museum or a cold space? But it doesn't feel cold.
Not at all.
When you're in here. It has so much warmth, especially for a more modern home.
I don't think it gets better than this.
No, and I mean just the sheer size of the terrace is really incredible. So one of the things about this house, if you look at it from the outside, is it has frames and it has filled in space and kind of open space that make up these terraces. So is that a feature that is typical of Guy, or how, can you tell me more
Yeah,
about
like
that?
we talked about before, I think there's a lot of, almost an equal amount of exterior space, and this is one of those examples, and I think you brought up a good point about the frames, where the frame is eroded, and it doesn't come all the way over, so you have open space out here on this terrace, where below it's covered terrace.
Right.
And it's a really interesting spatial experience. He's playing with the architecture, playing with the forms.
Yep. And it really creates these huge living spaces out here. Like, this is almost like a living room outside, and it's not just a terrace or a balcony.
This is pretty unique. I mean, this is a large terrace. This is almost a party terrace.
Yeah, oh, definitely a party terrace. I think we should talk about this view again. I mean, it's really like the Gulf view, and having the end of the day be looking out over this beautiful Gulf with this incredible sunsets. I mean, it really just doesn't get that much better than this. And it's sort of very, to me, says like Sarasota living. This is what it's like to live here.
Yeah, it pretty much speaks for itself.
Yeah, exactly. Guy Peterson's homes are never built before or again and are designed to be timeless and fresh. We certainly think this one fits that description. My thanks to Damien for taking us on an insider's tour of this property. See you next time on Living in Florida.